Some mysteries don't just keep you up at night. They shake the very foundation of what you think you know. They challenge everything, rewrite history, and leave us questioning reality itself. And the wackiest part? There are no answers. No matter how hard we try, some mysteries remain unsolvable, forever dangling in front of us like a puzzle with missing pieces. In this video, we're diving into 15 unsolvable mysteries that could destroy everything you know. These aren't just head-scratchers. They're the kind of enigmas that make you wonder if everything we believe is just an illusion. Buckle up, because once you see these, there's no going back. Let's start with number 15, the Tunguska event. Imagine waking up to what feels like the end of the world. You step outside, and the entire forest is gone, flattened like a giant steamrolled it. In 1908, that's exactly what happened in Tunguska, Siberia, when an explosion 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima turned 800 square miles of trees into matchsticks. But the weirdest part? No crater, no impact site, no solid explanation. Scientists say a meteor or comet exploded mid-air before hitting the ground, but without a single piece of space rock to prove it, theories go wild. Was it antimatter? A secret weapon test? A black hole grazing Earth? Some even claim aliens were involved because why not? One thing's for sure. If this had happened over a city, we wouldn't be here talking about it. And since space doesn't take requests, who's to say it won't happen again? Well, let's hope not. Number 14. Birds falling out of the sky. New Year's Eve is supposed to be about fireworks and champagne, not thousands of birds dropping dead out of nowhere. But in 2011, that's exactly what happened in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Kentucky. Blackbirds just fell from the sky like a deleted scene from a horror movie. The official explanation? Fireworks. The idea is that loud explosions panicked the birds, sending them into a chaotic flight, crashing into trees, buildings, and even each other. Sounds reasonable, except why just blackbirds? Why only in certain places? Some suspect environmental toxins, military experiments, or sudden air pressure changes messed with their biology. Others lean into the conspiracy side of things. Government tests, secret sonic weapons, or even omens of disaster. Whatever the truth is, watching the sky rain birds isn't exactly reassuring. And if this was a freak accident, why does it keep happening in different places around the world? Number 13. Who killed the Black Dahlia? Los Angeles has seen some wild stories, but the Black Dahlia murder is straight-up nightmare fuel. In 1947, Elizabeth Short's mutilated body was found in an empty lot, cut in half, drained of blood, and with a chilling Glasgow smile carved into her face. It was so disturbing that even seasoned cops struggled to stomach the scene. Over 150 suspects were questioned, including Hollywood elites, mobsters, and a creepy surgeon named Dr. George Hodel. His own son, a former LAPD detective, later accused him of the crime, plus a few others. Some even think he was the Zodiac killer. Theories range from a police cover-up to a secret Hollywood cult. But despite countless books, movies, and investigations, the killer was never caught. And in a city built on illusion, maybe some stories were never meant to have an ending. What do you think? Number 12. The Circleville Letters. Small towns love their secrets, but what happens when someone starts exposing them? In 1977, the people of Circleville, Ohio, started getting anonymous letters packed with scandal, affairs, and even accusations of murder. Whoever was writing them knew things they shouldn't. Then, things got deadly. Ron Gillespie, one of the letter recipients, got a mysterious phone call and stormed out of his house, only to be found dead in a car crash. His wife was later nearly killed by a booby-trapped gun. The police pinned it on Paul Freshour, Ron's brother-in-law, but here's where it gets weird. The letters didn't stop, even while he was in solitary confinement. Either someone was helping him, or they locked up the wrong guy. To this day, no one knows who wrote the letters. But one thing's for 100% sure. Circleville was never the same again. Number 11. The Oakville Blobs. Rain is supposed to be, water. Well, not jelly. But in 1994, residents of Oakville, Washington, woke up to a nightmare forecast. Cloudy with a chance of goo. Tiny, gelatinous blobs fell from the sky, covering houses, streets, and cars. Then people started getting sick. Headaches, dizziness, nausea. Scientists tested the blobs and found bacteria and human white blood cells inside. Which, raises way more questions than answers. Theories ran wild. Airplane waste gone wrong? A top-secret bioweapon test? Some freaky jellyfish explosion that got sucked into the clouds? No explanation ever stuck. And if it was a government experiment, well, let's just say they're not talking. To this day, no one knows what those blobs were, why they made people sick, or if it could happen again. But if you ever feel rain that's a little too squishy, maybe don't touch it. And if you see elephants running from sky, well, just be safe. Number 10. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines, Flight 370. A plane doesn't just disappear in 2014, and yet, that's exactly what happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. With 239 people on board, the Boeing 777 took off from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, but mid-flight, it went silent. Then it turned off course. For hours it drifted, appearing on military radar before vanishing completely over the Indian Ocean. And even though we have GPS, satellites, and radar tracking, the wreckage, mostly still missing. Bits of debris have washed up on distant beaches, but the black box, the thing that could actually tell us what happened, gone. Theories range from pilot suicide to hijacking, a freak mechanical failure, or even a government cover-up. Some go even further. Was it shot down by accident? Did it get sucked into another dimension? Until the wreckage is found, MH370 remains one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. Okay. From now, we like to travel by bus or train. Number 9. The Pioneer Anomaly. Space is supposed to be predictable. You send a spacecraft out, you do the math, and it moves exactly how it should. But then came Pioneer 10 and 11, two probes launched in the 1970s to explore the outer solar system. As they drifted farther from Earth, something strange happened. They weren't where they were supposed to be. Both spacecraft experienced an unexplained, tiny but constant deceleration, as if something was pulling them back. Scientists threw every theory at it. Dark matter, new physics, or even an unknown force lurking in space. Some even suggested aliens messing with our probes. Eventually, one theory gained traction. Heat from the probe's electronics might have caused a tiny recoil effect, slowing them down. But even that's not a perfect answer. If our physics can't fully explain it, what else are we missing out there in the void? Number 8. The origin of fast radio bursts. Imagine a blindingly powerful signal from deep space, but it lasts just a few milliseconds. That's what astronomers first detected in 2007, fast radio bursts. And here's the kicker. They seem to be coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. FRBs are among the most mysterious signals in the universe. Some flash once and never repeat. Others keep coming from the same source. Scientists have thrown around every possible explanation. Colliding neutron stars, black hole activity, magnetars, or even something more intentional. Yeah, some believe these could be signals from extraterrestrial civilizations. We've pinpointed a few sources in distant galaxies, but the true nature of FRBs, still a mystery. Whether they're cosmic disasters, alien technology, or something even weirder, one thing's clear. The universe is talking, and we still don't understand what it's saying. Number 7. The Mpemba effect. This one shouldn't make sense, but it does. Hot water freezing faster than cold water? Sounds like a bad science joke, right? Yet, it's a real phenomenon. Discovered, or at least popularized, by Tanzanian student Erasto Mpemba in 1963, the Mpemba effect has been tested and confirmed multiple times. But ask scientists why it happens, and you'll get a lot of awkward silence. Theories include evaporation reducing volume, convection currents distributing heat differently, or even strange behavior in hydrogen bonds. But none fully explain it. The truth? We don't actually know why this happens. Despite being one of the most basic scientific questions, the Mpemba effect defies easy explanation. And if something as simple as freezing water can still stump science, what else do we think we understand, but really don't? Number 6, the nature of consciousness. You're watching this, you're aware of yourself. But what is that awareness? Where does it come from? And why do we have it at all? Science can explain a lot about the brain, neurons firing, electrical signals zipping around, but it can't explain consciousness. How does a bunch of biological wiring create something as intangible and deeply personal as experience? This is known as the hard problem of consciousness, and despite advances in neuroscience, we're still in the dark. Some say consciousness is just a byproduct of brain activity, but that doesn't explain why we feel anything at all. Others think it might be fundamental to the universe itself. That reality and awareness are intertwined in ways we can't yet grasp. Whatever the answer, one thing's for sure. Until we solve consciousness, we don't really understand ourselves at all. Number 5, what caused the great unconformity? Geologists don't usually get to drop bombshells, but discovering that over 1 billion years of Earth's history is just gone? Yeah, that's a mic drop moment. Back in 1869, John Wesley Powell noticed something off in the Grand Canyon. Layers of rock that should have been there were missing like entire chapters ripped out of Earth's diary. Turns out, this wasn't just a Grand Canyon quirk, it's worldwide, with some gaps spanning up to 40% of Earth's history. So, what happened? One theory says massive glaciers from the snowball Earth period bulldozed the evidence away. Another points to Rodinia, an ancient supercontinent that broke apart so violently it erased history itself. And here's the kicker. Some scientists think all that missing rock ended up in the ocean, supercharging the waters with minerals that kick-started the Cambrian explosion, aka the moment life got way more interesting. So, this mystery isn't just about what's missing, it might explain why we're here at all. Alright guys, now, let's talk about something scary. Number 4, what's up with the Salish sea feet? Since 2007, severed human feet, mostly still in sneakers, have been washing up along the shores of the Salish Sea between Canada and the US. That's not exactly normal. Naturally, the internet went wild. Serial killer? Mafia? Secret underwater cult? Turns out the explanation is a mix of gruesome science and sneaker design. When a body ends up in the ocean, it sinks, and marine life gets to work. The ankle is one of the weakest joints, so the foot often detaches naturally. Here's where it gets weird. Modern running shoes are super buoyant. Unlike older shoes that sank, these float, meaning when a foot separates, it drifts instead of disappearing into the deep. Creepy? Absolutely. But there's no conspiracy, no murderer, just the strange mechanics of decomposition and footwear tech. That said, knowing the ocean is casually collecting feet? Yeah, still unsettling. Number 3, how and why were the Olmec heads made? Before the Maya and the Aztecs, the Olmecs ruled ancient Mesoamerica, and they left behind one of history's biggest mysteries: 17 massive stone heads. These aren't just big, some stand 10 feet tall and weigh 8 tons. And here's the mind-blower. They weren't carved where they were found. The nearest source of the volcanic basalt they're made from, more than 50 miles away. This was before wheels, pack animals, or heavy machinery. So, how did they move them? Theories include wooden rollers, sleds, or floating them on rafts. But the logistics are insane. Then there's the bigger question: why? Each head has unique facial features, suggesting they were portraits of rulers or warriors. Some think they honored leaders, others believe they depicted elite ball game players, maybe the ones who didn't survive the game. Whatever the reason, the Olmec heads stand as a flex of ancient engineering and an unsolved enigma. Number 2. The incident at Dyatlov Pass. Some mysteries refuse to die, and the Dyatlov Pass incident is one of them. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers set off into the Ural Mountains, but they never came back. When their bodies were found, it was a scene straight out of a horror movie. Their tent was slashed open from the inside, they were scattered across the snow, half-dressed, and some had bizarre injuries, one with a crushed skull, another missing their tongue. Oh, and their clothes had traces of radiation. No signs of a struggle, no footprints from intruders. Just pure, unexplainable chaos. Theories? Take your pick. Soviet military experiments, KGB cover-ups, Yetis, UFOs. Some scientists blame infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that can trigger panic and paranoia. Another theory suggests an avalanche, but that doesn't explain the radiation. Decades later, no one really knows what happened on that mountain. And honestly, we're not sure we want to. Number 1. The Havana Syndrome Mystery. It started as a headache, then came the dizziness, memory loss, brain damage. By 2016, U.S. diplomats in Havana were experiencing something terrifying, an invisible attack. Many reported hearing a bizarre, high-pitched sound before falling sick, describing it as a piercing whine or marbles rolling on the floor. At first, people thought it was a new kind of weapon, something designed to scramble the brain. The CIA investigated but came up empty-handed. Then it spread. Diplomats in China and beyond started experiencing the same symptoms. One theory? A botched surveillance operation where malfunctioning spy tech accidentally fried people's nervous systems. Another? Mass hysteria fueled by paranoia. And then there's the most bizarre explanation yet: crickets. Some researchers suggest the noise victims heard was just insects, triggering a psychological response. To this day, we don't really know what caused Havana Syndrome, but whether it was a secret weapon, a mass delusion, or just really aggressive crickets, it remains one of the strangest, unsolved medical mysteries. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.